Are you finding it hard to connect with your work these days or with a particular painting that you're working on? And are you finding that you're comparing yourself to artists that you know or artists that you see in YouTube land? And are you worried about making a consistent body of work, or that maybe the work that you're making isn't consistent enough for what you're supposed to have? If you're interested in showing or getting into a gallery. So I'm going to talk about how these three words, connection, comparison, and consistency, live in our artistic practice and how we can use them effectively to make good work. Hey everyone, welcome to Whole Artist Mastery. I'm Marianne Mitchell, and I've been a professional artist for about 40 years. That's hard to believe. And for about 10 of those 40 years, I've been mentoring artists who want to own their voice and make compelling work and know how they want to show up in the world as artists. So I love sharing the knowledge and experience and the struggles that I've had over these years. And I really hope that it helps you on your artistic journey. So if you like what you see, you can help the Whole Artist Mastery YouTube channel by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So let's see, we have connection, we have comparison, and we have consistency. And as I've been thinking about how these three words relate to the whole of an artistic practice, all three of them are tied to the same foundation, which is us, which is knowing who we are and how we feel, how we think, and what it is that we're inspired by. So I have other videos that have covered various different aspects of finding out what you're inspired by and why. We've talked about doing your personal treasure hunt to get at the core of who you are. But I've also been thinking lately about, because I've been having a lot of conversations with both artists who are working with me in mentorship programs as well as through Wham Wednesday and people that I know, about the difficulties at times in feeling a connection with the work that you're making, case in point. So I'm going to show you about going back into this painting in even maybe the next video or one after that, because I've really been struggling with a connection or building a connection or coming up with a new connection with this painting. Now, what do I mean by connection? What that means is that you are fired up, you feel like, yes, I know what I want to do. And you have some conscious awareness of it, but also an unconscious drive that will help you choose the colors and the way that you work the paint. And so to me, that is working with a connection that has been kindled, either at the very beginning, something's been a source of inspiration for you, or you've lost that source of inspiration and you have found another way back into the painting. So it's important to feel a connection throughout and in and out, and having it wane and come back throughout the course of making a painting, because it is the thing that ends up making the painting have a voice that connects to those who see it, as well as to you through the journey that you've gone through in making the painting. So the next word is comparison. So what I'm finding is that we all compare ourselves to artists around us. I am certainly in that category as well. And what I'm noticing is that when I start comparing myself to artists' work that I see, or when I'm hearing from a mentorship artist that they're comparing themselves to someone that they know, usually means that we have lost our own inner connection to what we're trying to do. Because when that connection is strong, the need to compare ourselves or to find other ways of doing things, or to feel like, sometimes we feel insecure, and we like to find ways to make us feel even more insecure, to validate that we're feeling insecure. Sometimes I find myself comparing to others because that's the place that I'm in. And it's usually because I've lost a connection with um, my inner deepest place of expression and what's coming out on the canvas, or in my case, the board. I paint on wood panel. So that's an indication to me that I need to stop looking at other artists' work. I need to stop searching for the way other artists do this and spend time within me and finding the answers within me, which, as you may know, and I'm going to share, is sometimes a very difficult thing to do, because we want to have the answers. We want to be on our way. We want to be productive. And sometimes the only way to build or to reconnect with what we're doing is to be fallow for a period of time, or to seek other ways of refueling ourselves. So in the case of this painting, this has had probably, I kid you not, maybe 12 different paintings on the same board, and it's still nowhere, because the connection for me has been very strong, and then it recedes, and then it's very strong, and then it recedes. And so I have found myself looking at other artists' paintings that are dark, that I have this rich, luminous color, and thinking, well, they do it so much better than me, which only makes me feel worse. Does this sound familiar? So that's the relationship between feeling a connection to your work and needing to compare yourself to others, and making that erode the connection even further. So when you find yourself comparing to others, what's important is to stop and realize, I need to stop looking in books. I need to stop looking at YouTube. I need to stop listening to what artists around me, or seeing what artists around me are doing. I need to go inside. So the third C word in this triad of words that live in our artistic practice is consistency. So in the art world, the cardinal rule is that you have a consistent body of work. Well, lately I've been really challenging for myself, as well as in conversations. What does that exactly mean, having a consistent body of work? And that takes me back to, well, what is our voice? What's my voice? Because some people have a very wide range of expression. Gerhard Richter comes to mind again as an artist, one of the greatest artists of the 20th and 21st centuries, whose voice is limitless, according to him. And so in that sense, having a limitless way of expressing yourself is consistent. So what I think is important about the concept of consistency is knowing what lives in your voice, what the range of your voice is. What is it that you find yourself expressing? In my case, I go back and forth between very organic, free-flowing compositions and very architectural compositions. And that's because all of the paintings are discussing this dichotomy, this polarity between opposing elements. Sometimes they're represented more fluidly, Sometimes they're represented more architecturally. Sometimes they're very balanced between the two. And so to me, that's a very consistent voice. And yet the paintings present themselves, I guess, upon first glance, as being very different from each other. So I feel it's incumbent upon me to explain to those who might want to refute the consistency in my work, or challenge that, this painting is totally different than this painting, that I'm able to explain how I see consistency living between the two very different visual compositional presentations that they're looking at. Which goes back to connection, because we have to have a connection to what it is that we're inspired by. We have to know what that is in order for us to quell the need to compare ourselves to other artists, and in order for us to understand what the range of consistency is in our work. So I want you to think about how these three words apply to you in your artistic practice. Do you feel connected with what you're expressing in your work? And if not, what can you do to fuel that connection? When are you comparing yourself to other artists, and why are you doing so? And what's the relationship between that and how you're feeling about your work at the time? And are you thinking about what consistency means as it relates to your work, and defining what consistency means for you, as opposed to trying to follow a particular set of rules that are somewhat elusive in the art world as to what consistency really means? Define it for yourself. Define your own connection. And understand that comparing yourself to others may be helpful at times. It can also be destructive. So to know when to pull away from looking around you for the answers, because the answers really lie within you. So I hope these words and my sharing of kind of what I'm thinking about these days has been helpful to you, and I would love to hear your thoughts about how you're feeling connected to your work. Are you feeling connected? Are you finding yourself comparing to others? And if so, when and why? And what are your thoughts about consistency? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. So if you're interested in learning more about what a personal treasure hunt is, you can go to the Whole Artist Mastery website, sign in, put your name on the mailing list. You'll get a free introductory guide to what Whole Artist Mastery is really all about. And in that PDF guide is the outline for the personal treasure hunt. I talked about Wham Wednesday, Whole Artist Mastery Wednesday. That's a Wednesday once a month that's free to everyone to join in a conversation about all aspects of what it means to be a whole artist and what that means. What does a whole artist mean? So we talk about that, and it's a lot of fun. So I invite you to join, and I hope that you can go forward from this with greater understanding of your practice and what you're doing. And I hope that the next time I see you, I will be working on this painting and furthering my connection to what I'm doing with this painting that has been maybe underway now for about a year. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching.